We're now on today's historic summit. Let's welcome back to the show political analyst Brian Sobel. Brian, thanks so much for being here. Several big takeaways from the meeting today, including the importance of meeting in person. This is really at the center of how President Biden views foreign affairs.
Absolutely. You have to be able to sit down with an adversary or even a friend and be frank with them. And if President Biden was as frank as he indicated in his post-meeting media conference, then, all good, because that is what is helpful on the international stage.
Brian, there was a lot of ground for the two leaders to cover. What was President Biden's goal, and what was President Putin hoping for here?
Well, I think President Putin was looking for an opportunity to meet on the world stage with the President of the United States. And I know that the American president is being criticized a little bit, Heather, for taking the time to meet with Putin, but I disagree with that view. I think you meet with anybody in the world that can potentially be a major adversary, and Russia falls into that category. So Putin definitely wanted to appear presidential from the Russian point of view. And I think from the American point of view, there was a laundry list of things that President Biden wanted to bring to the attention of the Russian president face to face. Things like the cybersecurity issue, the fact that we are not now capping nuclear capability, and a whole host of other things that President Biden wanted to speak with President Putin about.
Yeah, you mentioned, though, that criticism, Brian, and there are people who say, look, this sit-down meeting gave President Putin exactly what he wanted.
My answer is, so what? We have to get along with other people in the world, and the Russians have always been a major country to deal with since the end of World War II. It hasn't changed. They are a super nuclear power. They're probably not an economic power the way they were, obviously, as the Soviet Union when they were part of the Soviet Union. But they are a major player from a weapons standpoint in the world. And by the way, despite what President Putin said, major hacking of American computer systems are occurring from Russia. Why wouldn't you want to sit down with that country's president and say, hey, we know where it's coming from. It's got to stop, as a precursor to other negotiations.
Brian, there weren't many tangible results here, and I don't really know that a lot of people expected many. The Biden administration, of course, lowering expectations heading into this meeting. But there was that one agreement, and that's something that you brought up, to address cyber crime. Do you think that will be effective?
To the extent that President Putin goes back to Russia and actually issues some orders on that, and we see less attacks, yes. That would have been an accomplishment. But to your point, Heather, I think a lot of people expected some 2 or 3 major announcements to come out of this meeting. I'm not sure that was possible. But to the extent that this is a beginning of a new relationship between the presidents of both these countries, and we can go forward and make progress on a number of issues, that's a good thing.
Yeah, we know that relations have been strained over the last few years. So in the end, Brian, do you think that this summit met its goal?
I don't know what the internal goals were of the Biden administration. I would say from the standpoint of the president meeting with the Russian president and conveying his concerns, our concerns as the American people, job done. This was a long trip for President Biden. With the G7, with NATO, then with the meeting with President Putin. I think on the whole, he did a good job meeting with all these folks. But as they say, the proof is in the pudding. We'll see what comes.
We certainly will. All right, Brian Sobel, political analyst, really appreciate your time this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather.